I'm Jack Lowden. I'm playing Cammy. First day, turned up and the room was packed, and it was like the whole of the National Theatre, and we did our first read-through, which I was ridiculously nervous about doing. It was great to hear the boys reading the parts before we even met them, like before we even met each other. The physical thing we did yesterday, we did yoga, which is just insane. Like I can't touch my toes. I've never been able to touch my toes. I'm not telling Stephen Hoggett that, because I mean he found out for himself yesterday with a yoga mat. We were all handed yoga mats, and that was pretty mental. And then we did like coordination exercises, like all jumping together, and that was cracking. And then we did this circuit. We're now on week 2. The hair's gone. It's weird. It's like stroking a dog. It's really cold. Majority of the movement stuff's done as well, and all the songs, and it's looking really promising.
You're meant to look like an army regiment, and you've got all your moves and sequences.
It's very well getting it right, 70% of it right, but you need to get it 100% right, which is the difficult part, getting all the hard movements down at the right time. Your salutes, it's all got to be timed perfectly. There's a lot of soldiers in the military come and see this show, apparently. And the last couple of casts, they pride themselves on doing a good parade. So it's very, very tricky, but we'll get there. We're getting there.
And now we seem to be, every day when we get in, let's do parade. You just have to sort of focus yourself, do parade. But Stephen's been doing parade straight after the warm-up. So he makes you do, when you're physically exerted and you can't do much more, he makes you do parade, and he says, right, that's how you're going to feel by the end of the performance. So get used, really, it just keeps on unravelling. There's little bits and pieces, and you're running around trying to think, item clothing is going next.
Most stuff revolves around Cammy. Once you get that sorted, then everyone else falls into place, but you don't want to slip up because it ruins everything.
You can't do anything in fashion, and it was one thing that I said to Jack the other day was, you can't do anything, you just walk up and down and you let it all happen to you. So for a performer, it's quite a challenging part of the show. You need to put your arms and legs in the right place, but once you've done that, your responsibility is gone, and you end up you wear the mistake, but you can't do anything about it. But what it does create is a lot of pressure on the rest, healthy pressure on the rest of the guys, because it has to be really precise, and it has to be like a roll tournament where suddenly this guy put together like this, and it's all gone before we know it. So it's a lot of fast thinking, but those are the sequences that I love making.
Chips and vinegar, pepper, pepper, pepper pot. Or you can't chuck your muffin out, dustbin, our dustbin, our dustbin. You can't chuck your muffin out, dustbin, our dustbin's full.
Blackwatch is the story of this very storied regiment of the Scottish military and what their experience was fighting in the Iraq War. It came to be based on a series of interviews that the playwright Gregory Burke did with soldiers after the return from the war. Blackwatch is the name of the military regiment that it is about. The Blackwatch is basically the elite of the Scottish military.
And the young men and their realizing the impact of war on themselves and how they become disillusioned with their participation in it. At the same time, there's a lot of reconnecting or connecting with the past. The Blackwatch Regiment has a long history in terms of participation in foreign wars, and it just is a really impassioned look at how the very young men who are there, how the war impacts them.
And it's told through this unbelievably powerful combination of dance and music and just very sort of stylized, visceral movement. So what could otherwise, I think, be a sort of dry historical representation of what these events had been and what these guys' experiences had been becomes something that really connects on a sort of much more visceral core level.
Forward! The 42nd!
There's a lot of very intense sound and choreography related to marching and stepping and dancing at the same time. And it's really masterfully presented because it doesn't feel like we're now stepping out of a very serious war situation to sing a song. You know, when they sing, it's sort of in the context of the way soldiers would sing, actually to while away some time or in a ceremonial way, so it's contextually accurate, but it also is part of the narrative, and what they're singing about is part of the narrative of the play.
My name is Willie Brown. It's since there was a weaver.
Black Watch is returning to the Broadway Armory after a tremendous run last year. The venue is an ideal location for a chronicle of war.
This is, at least in the United States,
It's lyrical, it's history, it's dance, it's music, it's explosions, it's bagpipes. Anyone living in today's world can watch this play and understand what it means to be in that situation for this 1 hour and 50 minutes. You really feel like you're a part of it.